What's up, Sports Perspective fans? Welcome back to another video. We're provided with updates going on in the sporting world. And in this video, we're going to reviewing what we learned, from the ReggaeBoyz third place finish in the recently concluded Concacaf Nations League. It was a brilliant performance by the team in both matches that they played. Unfortunately, they lost in the semi-final, but it was a great performance by them, and they rebounded from that loss in the semi-final, and were able to defeat Panama and take in third place in the competition. So we're going to go over a few things that we learned from the team, based on those performances, right? And starting out, one of the things that we learned was that Coach Hallgrimsson, he is a tactical genius, right? Another thing that we learned, right, is that he is very flexible when it comes to how he wants to organize the team to play. Another thing was that our player pool is stronger and deeper than we think. Also, the team is very, very strong defensively, right? And last thing that we learned also was that even though the team is strong defensively, they're still lacking offensive cohesion. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the offensive end. And even the coach himself said it. So stick around and listen. We're gonna dive more in depth into all of those points that I mentioned. So just stick around and give it a listen. And as always, YouTube formalities. If this is your first time here watching the video, then I definitely appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. And if you like the content, then don't hesitate to put a thumbs up on the video. Like the video and also share it as well, so other people can discover the channel and enjoy the content as much as you did, right? So the first point of Hallgrimsson being a tactical genius, right? Nobody expected him to organize the team in the way which he did, right? Some people say he was playing with it's a 5-3-2. Some say it's a 3-4-3. So and whatever formation you think it is, that's how Hallgrimsson, based on the opponents that we're facing, that's how Hallgrimsson felt as if we could, get the best out of the team that we had with the players that we had available. And he was spot on point. It was hard for teams to break us down, based on how he organized the team. And also discipline from the players as well. Because, of course, the coaches can have what they want the team to do, but it still takes the players to go out there and do as they were instructed by the coach. But the tactical genius of Hallgrimsson was on display in this CONCACAF Nations League final, and it's something not to be overlooked going forward as we look forward to World Cup qualifiers and Copa America and so on, right? Again, he's flexible. He's flexible in deciding how he wants the team to play, right? As I remember when he just started, right? And he himself even said it, that the formation that he started with, which was 4-4-2, I think, was just the basic football formation, which most players or every player are able to understand and grasp. And he started with that simple formation just to get the players to be accustomed to what he wants them to do or how he wants to play. And now that the players are comfortable with the system that he wants to play, you see now where he is now making adjustments to suit the type of players that we have. So again, big kudos to Coach Hallgrimsson for his tactical genius in the Nations League final, right? Another thing, our player pool, right? So it's deeper and stronger than we think, right? And so it's no secret that the Jamaican team wasn't at full strength. We're missing quite a few players that are regular starters in the team. So if we go in the defense line, Ethan Pinnock is out injured, Amari Bell is out injured, and then of course up top, there was no Leon Bailey, there was no Mikel Antonio, and in the first match, the semifinal against the US, there was no Shamar Nicholson, there was no Demari Gray, right? So, and all of those names that I mentioned now are regular starters in the team, so it goes without saying that the team wasn't at full strength, but as the famous saying goes, there's next man up, next person step up, and there are a lot of players that stepped up and filled the gap that was left by these players being out injured, right? And namely, Michael Hector, Damon Lowe, of course, playing in unfamiliar midfield role. Ronaldo Cephas, Cephas had a great game. Even though he missed a couple chances, there were moments in the game where he showed that he belonged in the team. A lot of composure on the ball as well. And of course, it goes without saying, his pace, they could not keep up with his pace. And even the chance that he missed, it was only created because of the pace that he showed to run by the defender and get onto the ball. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to put the ball in the goal. But his pace, without his pace, that chance would not have been created. So Dexter Lembikisa as well. What a brilliant goal the young man scored. It just shows, that when players are missing, players step up. That's what they're expected to do, and they did so in the games. Greg Lay as well, scored. So both Dexter Lembikisa and Greg Lay scoring their first international goals. And what better time to score it than when it matters, when there's silverware on the line, So kudos to the players that stepped up. And again, it's just testament to the fact that our player pool is stronger and deeper than we think. And when you even think about the players that we as fans talk about on a regular that still have not committed to playing for Jamaica as yet, it just goes to show that the future is very bright for this team with the amount of players that we currently have available and players that we are anticipating will eventually join the team. So a strong and deep player pool is another takeaway that I have from this Nations League final. Right. Another thing. So defensively, this team is a defensive juggernaut, right? Hard to break down, hard to penetrate. As you saw, so in the first match, the semi-final, again, football can be a cruel sport at time, and they kept a clean sheet for 95 minutes, right? Before, unfortunately, the own goal came. But throughout those 95 minutes, without a lot of possession as well, right? Because the US had majority of the possession for the entire game, but even with all the possession they had, it was hard for them to create a lot of genuine chances. I think Andre Blake didn't really have too much to do in that game, and unfortunately, it was our own goal. It took our own goal to get by him, to get a goal, for him to concede a goal, right? So the team defensively, the team is very strong, and you also have to remember that we're missing some of our best defenders. So Ethan Pinnock, he's one of the best centre backs in the Premier League. He wasn't there. Amari Bell, again, another Premier League defender who's out injured as well. So strong defensive performance, and there is still room for improvement because some of our better defenders still weren't in the team. All right, so very, very good performance, a very strong defensive team, and looking forward to the performances, especially in Copa America, where they'll come up against, strong, South American opponents, with who are very versatile and very good offensively. So that would be a good test of the defensive strength of this team. With a good defense, so they did a lot of good things defensively. Offensively, there were a few things lacking, hence the reason why I said there needs to be more cohesion, going forward. And the coach himself said it as well, and I'm sure the players can attest to this as well. Right? They were better in the Panama game than they were in the US game. And I can put it down to this, right? Because if you really look at it in the game against the US, the offensive strike force consisted of players that, didn't have a lot of time playing together with each other, right? So as the main offensive players, the Leon Bailey, Demar Gay, Shamar Nicholson, Michael Antonio, that's usually the front four, where they play together a lot. But with those players not being available for different reasons, then the coach had to, include other players. So if you think about it, Ronaldo Cephas, Jamal Lowe, and I forgot who was and Bobby Reed, Bobby Reed is a regular starter, but playing with those players, for they don't really play with those players on a regular basis. So the chemistry wasn't there as we as fans would like it to be. And it comes down to, just them not having enough time to play together. Because again, that's not the regular, top four that normally plays. Right? When Damari Gray and Shamar Nicholson returned for the Panama game, it wasn't perfect, but it was a lot better because again, familiar players, they know each other's tendencies and how they want the ball and so on and so forth. So the offensive game against Panama was better than it was against the US, but there's still a lot of room for improvement, right? And I'm sure they'll be working on this going forward. Yeah, so those are some of the things, some of my takeaways from the Concacaf Nations League final for the ReggaeBoyz. And I can say as a fan, I'm very excited for what the future holds for this team. They showed a lot of promise. Again, the players that stepped up. I know I named a few of the players, but to be honest, it was an entire team effort, right? So you could call the name of all the players that were there, right? So Lemby Kisa, Greg Lay, Joel Latibodier, Deshaun Bernard, Damon Lowe. They all, contributed to the success of the team in this tournament. And for that, like I said, it's very promising for the team going forward. And as a fan, I'm very excited to see what the future holds for this team. So that's all I have. That's all I have for now. As far as my takeaways from their performance in the Nation League. So again, don't forget to, if it's your first time watching the video, subscribe to the channel because there's a lot more content coming, on football, on a lot of different content coming. So don't forget to subscribe, leave a like on the video and share the video as well, so the video can get out to a wider audience and more people can come and enjoy the content as much as you did. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.